And then I need to see the second peak, the mass spectrum and the peak table. So here's a spectrum graph. We're going to put a spectrum graph there. And we will make that peak number 2. So we want to see peak 2. Right, that's that peak at 3 minutes. And then we're also going to give it a peak table. Oops, sorry. Mass table. Spectrum graph. Mass table. We want the mass table. And we also want that to be from peak number 2. So I'm going to change this from 1 block to 6 blocks. Right, so we see it across. I'm going to put some grid lines on there so we can actually distinguish them. So actually it won't fit 6 blocks on there. I guess I can set that block number to 4. Looks like that's all that it will fit. The 4th block isn't even fitting in scale. I'll change the block gap to 0. We don't need a block gap. That'll hopefully get that 4th block on scale. And I really don't need the absolute intensity, so I'm going to turn absolute intensity off. So we're just seeing the relative intensity, and that'll get those 4 blocks to fit across. So that looks good. Then I'm going to copy this and paste in a second copy. I can drag this guy down. Make that a little smaller. Make this a little smaller so we're not seeing quite as large a peak. Move that guy up. I'm going to copy this and paste it. And then I can drag that down. And what I'm doing here is I'm setting up another chromatic or mass table and mass spectrum. And I'm then going to right click on it and go to Spectrum Object Properties and tell it that what I want to see here is peak 3. And the same here. Mass table properties. And what I want to see is peak 3. And I expect the peak at 7.4 and the peak at 3.397 to be about the same. The base peak was different for those two, but they're very similar. So that's a nice looking report form. I'm going to save that format file as Aldol and put it in my GCMS reports folder. I'm going to call it Aldol Products. And I'm going to print that. Aldol product K1B2. And you'll see that we can already tell that that peak is not there. Right, that peak between 2.5 and 5, not there at all. Our solvent cut time is 2 minutes, so we're not seeing anything. So that peak was in fact a carryover. So I'll run this and then I'll print it into that same report form, and that's what I'll upload. And that's it for now.